Rob?
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net. Today we're looking at something a little different that we don't really see on my channel, but it is something that is very important to me, and that is hats. More importantly, the review is basically going to be for this new era 59FIFTY Batman vs. Superman armor fitted hat. Now, a couple different places may call it a character hat. I was a little worried in the description when they said armored hat, because there is a version of the hat that looks like the armored cowl that he wore in Batman vs. Superman, the mech suit. Hats are something that I wear every single day. If you've seen any of my videos where I'm on camera, 99.9% of the time, I always have a hat on, usually backwards, but I do have some hats that I wear forwards, and I'll get into a little bit of that. But for the first part of the review is just taking a look at this. These hats were announced. There were three, actually four. There was a Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman here, obviously, then the Batman armored hat. There was a version for San Diego Comic-Con of 2015 that didn't have the panel lines. It was just this normal sized bat, but was more of a gray bodysuit, and I think it said San Diego Comic-Con 2015 along the one side here. So about a year ago, before the movie came out, they announced that these hats were coming out, and in January of 2016 they released them, and I was thinking, oh, I really want to get them. The big thing with the New Era hats, you can see the New Era logo right here, is that these are very expensive hats. This is $59.99, which $60, the grand total for this was $64.94. So some people may be saying, wow, that's really expensive for a hat. If you know anything about New Era, and I'll bring up one that you may know here, there's a Detroit Tigers baseball hat. Now, this is an older version of the hat. As you can see, it's had a lot of wear. So the New Era logo is not there, but it is on the inside of the bill. And this is an authentic collection baseball hat. These are the very exact same hats that the baseball players would wear. So be it the Yankees, Tigers, Red Sox, whatever your Major League Baseball team, New Era makes all the hats for Major League Baseball. So a few years back, probably closer to 10 years or so, New Era started making other hats in the same quality that they would use for Major League hats, and then make them across the board for every sporting event or movie or whatever type of thing you have it. And 59FIFTY is generally what they are called, and you can see where it says 59FIFTY right in there into the side of the hat. You can see the Major League. There's always a logo here on the back part of the hat, and with the Batman hat you get the Batman logo. So there's the Major League Baseball. And then New Era, so I'm a big Tigers fan, so then you could get into hats like this that are different colors. There you can see the New Era logo. I forget what year they started putting their logo here, but again, authentic, you know, merchandise, New Era logo. Since they've been making hats since 1920, and I think they've been making them for the entire run of Major League Baseball. So there's my head size, 7 3/8, and I'll get into that in just a second. But so again, this was another $60 hat, and it's due to the quality and durability. They're wool, basically, so they can be a very, very hot hat, especially in the hot weather we're having right now. These hats are really hot, so usually when I get in the car or something like that, I end up taking off because I was sweating so bad in them. And I try not to, if it's going to be a real hot day, is to not wear those type of hats. But getting back to this hat, I thought this hat was so cool looking. Again, it was $60, and at the time that it came out, I didn't have the $60 in order which to get it, and by the time I got it, they were completely sold out, and that was late January, early February, and the movie hadn't even come out yet, and they were completely sold out. And I was looking at superherostuff.com, New Era's own website, and they were all out. You could get the armored Batman hat, but it looks cool, but it looked kind of goofy at the same time. and I didn't want it. So what I resorted to was getting this hat, and I got it at Spencer's Gifts. It's a leather hat, which I thought, okay, it's not bad, you know, I like it. It's pleather more than anything, and it's a snapback hat, which I like more of the fitted hats. And when I wear my hats backwards, I don't like this on my forehead because it leaves, you know, this line across it, and my head's poking through. I think it looks stupid to wear your hat backwards and it not be a fitted hat, and to have like this little dome on your forehead, then you got this weird hat head thing. So this is a hat I always wore forward. So if you see me wearing a forward hat, it's because it's a snap bill on the back. So I do have a few hats that I do wear forwards. And the reason that I wear them backwards is I'm a drummer, and I don't want the sticks hitting the bill of my hat and knocking my hat off. But more importantly, when I wear them backwards, this may sound gross, they're a sweat catcher. So if the sweat's not running down in my eyes, and, you know, now being bald, I sweat really bad, so I'm constantly rubbing my head, getting sweat off, or I've got a towel. If I'm in a place where I can, you know, wear a hat, sometimes in church I don't get a chance to wear a hat. But other venues that I play, I'm always wearing a hat, just so I don't have sweat running in my eyes. And I got so accustomed to doing that when I was in high school and marching band that it just stayed with me. So I've always worn my hat backwards. Some of my favorite drummers like Tommy Lee and Michael Foster, Mike Mangini. None of the drummers in Kiss ever wore their hats backwards. And Mike Mangini and Mike Portnoy, both at Dream Theater, wear their hats backwards. I thought it was cool, you know, growing up in high school. And then I just kind of kept doing that, and it was more a purpose for myself to do that. So I've been wanting to get back to looking at this hat here in a little further detail. But as you can tell, this is made authentic to how the screen-looked suit would look in Batman versus Superman. You can see all of the stitching lines that you see in the suit, and then the panel sections they've replicated here in kind of the distressed part of the logo. Is so very cool. The attention to detail in these hats, regardless if it's a Star Wars hat, if it's a Superman, Iron Man, Captain America, you can find these hats all over the place. And if you get the 59FIFTY style of hat, yes, they're expensive, but you're getting such a great quality hat that I can't recommend enough. And with a lot of the character hats, they do, the undersides are always really pretty cool. So looking at the bill of Batman here, you can see the Ben Affleck art that you would see on toys and different things like that. Let me turn a little bit of light here. And the artwork is replicated inside of the hat. And this is more like a, almost feels vinyl-ish. It's really kind of cool, actually. And cool not in, hey man, that's cool. I mean cool, it kind of keeps my head kind of cool. So you can see the 59FIFTY logo in there. The Batman versus Superman logo is there, where the Major League Baseball logo would be. 7 3/8 is my head size. And then the washing instructions, which I don't really wash my hats. So I try to keep them nice. Now, what's missing from this hat that I see a lot of people keep on their hats? The stickers. Take them off. They look stupid. You normally see a lot of them up here. This one came underneath the bill here. For me, what it does, if you don't plan on taking the stickers off, fine. But the glue starts to sweat, and then you will get a sweat stain on your hat, and eventually the sticker is going to lose its stickiness and is going to come off, and then you get this weird goop on your hat. So when the rest of your bill is nicely faded or is worn, you have this new pristine spot here with this goopy glue on it, or it starts to wear the underneath. These stickers are only meant for you to go to the store really quickly and go, oh, that's the size of hat I need, rather than you, pardon me as I punch the camera, having you flip the inside of the bill and kind of look here. I see people do it all the time. They leave their hats on. I so bad just want to go behind somebody and pull the sticker off the hat. My wife's always like, no, don't do that. So I think it's dumb. And I always think of Minnie Pearl. If you don't know who Minnie Pearl is, Google her. She was a country western celebrity in the 70s, probably 50s, 60s, and 70s. I remember seeing her as a kid on Hee Haw, and she would wear this little like sunbonnet type of a hat that had a little price tag hanging from it, which I was like, take that tag off. So take your tags off. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. So I want to give a big shout out to HatLand.com. That is where they didn't send me this hat. I bought it, myself. SuperheroStuff.com has been out of these hats again, like I said, since probably the beginning of February. They finally got one of these back in, but it was only the 7-inch size. So they didn't have a 7 3/4 inch hat or any other size. And I thought, great, I missed my opportunity, and I just started Google searching images of this hat, and I would start just clicking on every version of this hat that I saw. And it led me to HatLand.com, and there's their invoice right there. And the shout out I want to give Hatland is I ordered this. I was working a night shift, working some overtime, got home and thought, well, I'm working all this overtime, I want to treat and buy myself something nice. So I just decided to start looking for this hat, thinking like, well, if Superhero Stuff has at least got one size in, maybe somebody else has gotten one. I never saw Hatland before before finding this hat. And I just was doing Google searches and saw their logo on it and clicked on it. It took me right to their page, and they had every single size available. The Superman hats, the Aquaman hats, Wonder Woman, both versions of the Batman hat. And what was cool about it, I ordered it at 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and by Monday at 10 a.m., I had this hat. Actually, my wife ended up picking it up, after we got off of work, but it was at my post office. So they processed it really quickly Saturday morning, shipped it out, and then it delivered without any other processing from Sunday to Monday, and it arrived to me in just under 3 days. Actually, technically, 2 days. I could not believe the speed, and I didn't pay for any extra crazy shipping. Just their standard shipping. I thought, well, whenever it gets to me, it'll get to me. I cannot rave about their quality of service and customer care enough. They took great care in getting this out to me right away, and I couldn't believe that. I thought, well, it's the weekend, it's probably not going to get it processed till Monday. They processed it. By the time I woke up at 10 o'clock, the order was already processed. So from whenever they arrive at their factory or their warehouse, they're out of Maryland, and so Maryland to Ohio, it arrived rather fast. I lost my train of thought there. So was very, very happy with this. I am going to be ordering more hats from them. And they have, different variety of types and style of hats, not only just 59FIFTY New Era, but they're called Hatland. So if you're in the market for a hat or this particular hat, I'm going to put a link down here for this hat if you're kind of looking at it and you want a really cool piece of merchandise from Batman vs. Superman, or just a Batman hat. Now, you've already seen this hat. So this hat, now that I've got this one, this hat kind of pales in comparison. So it's probably just going to go on a shelf. The other Batman vs. Superman hat that I have, I got at my local Meijer, and it's just the logo. It's another snapback hat. So I was wearing this going to see the film, and actually I think I wore my Robin hat. I'll show that in just a second. But I've been wearing this hat quite a bit. It's already got some, love and wear and tear on the bill. So these are my Batman versus Superman hats here. And I'll just show a couple of the hats here that I have. I was talking about Robin, and this is also a 59FIFTY hat. So if you've seen my video, there's the New Era logo right there. I know these two hats look really cool together. I love this hat. This hat's pretty cool, and if you can see it, there is the Robin artwork right there that kind of blends in with the hat. Just the 59FIFTY logo in there. They made this hat in all black on black, which was really pretty cool. I got this one. The school that I was playing for a while for their show choir, their swing choir, was doing a superhero show, and I was their drummer and assistant director, so I had to dress like Robin. I love the back of the hat. So this is how you usually see me on my videos when I'm wearing my Robin hat. My wife's like, these hats are so cool looking at the front, but anybody talking to you never sees them. And well, now you know why I wear my hats backward. And drummer just kind of stuck after a while. Not following a trend. And as you can tell, I really don't bend, or I don't keep my hats perfectly flat. I do bend my hats. I do like them to have a little bend in a shape, but wearing them backwards does end up flattening the hat just a little bit. But those two hats look really cool together. I'm just going to show you a couple other hats. One that I absolutely love. If anybody knows what this is the Injustice Gods Among Us. I think it was more of the Superman, his logo when he, took over Earth or whatever. I love this hat. This is my hat. You can kind of see it's got a lot of sweat, sweat and wear. There's the Injustice Gods Among Us logo there. I wear this hat everywhere. No other artwork on the underside of this hat. This has been my go-to hat. I got this in Chicago right when the game came out. My wife and I were in Chicago, and I saw this hat there, and I love the color, the very dark gray of this hat. Aside from this Robin hat, this has been absolutely one of my favorite hats to wear. So now that I've got this hat here, it's really going to be a toss-up between the three of them. I wear this hat quite a bit. The Robin one, you can see I've got a little more sweat stains stuff there. These are now my three go-to hats, and it's really hard to decide what hats I'm wearing. I'm probably going to be wearing the BVS Batman hat for a while. One of my other favorite hats, this is more of a hat video here, is this 59FIFTY hat from New Era. Crazy cool. This looks like something Travis Barker would wear, a Blink-182's drummer, and actually he probably would wear this hat. The Z here is for Zildjian, and if anybody knows what Zildjian is, it's a brand of cymbals. It's a brand of cymbals that I play, and playing in different bands and stuff, there's the Zildjian logo. Nothing underneath this hat at all. I also, these four hats right here, I keep saying these are my favorite hats, but as far as the New Era hats go, usually when I'm playing a show or a gig, again with the high school group that I was playing with for a while, I wore this hat almost every single day. It's the drummer hat for me, so when I'm going out doing a show, this is usually the hat I end up wearing. Yeah, it's kind of loud and got all the little Z's all over it, but I love this hat too. So the 59FIFTY hats, so you can see, if each one of these hats are $60, you can tell how much I've spent. Plus, not only that, the two baseball hats are also 59FIFTY. So aside from all the action figures and everything else and the drum kits that I play, I also collect hats. And there's the Batman Arkham Knight Red Hood hat, which I think is a really cool hat. I wish this was a fitted hat. They're starting to go back to these snapback hats, which I really don't like. I do, but if it was a fitted hat, and what they used to sell were these fitted hats that had a little bit of stretch to them. Something else I collect are hard rock hats. It's from Gatlinburg. So these are a lot of my go-to hats. Wearing hats backwards, I always like these. A lot of places like Hot Topic and Spencer's Gifts and those type of places have all these novelty hats used to sell these stretch one-size-fits-all type of hats, and they got away from that. Now we're in a snapback, so I really kind of wish we would go back to that. I don't have my Kiss hat up here. I love the band Kiss. Another band that I like is Dream Theater. And here's the Flex Fit that you used to be able to find everywhere. So I know this is more of a hat. There's Dream Theater. There's their logo. Again, one of the bands I love, Dream Theater and Kiss. Again, of course, when I'm playing drums, I wear this hat quite a bit, or one of my Kiss hats. I don't have it here. Any of you Kevin Smith fans out there will probably recognize this hat. Snoochie Bootie's Blunt Man. This is the hat that Brody wore in Chasing Amy and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It's only one size. I can't remember what size it was. It's the only size they made, and it was for Jason Lee's head. I think at the time that I bought it, this hat was so huge on me, and now this hat's almost 20 years old, and I can finally start wearing it. So B for Banky, his character. And one last one here. Actually, two last hats. Being in Ohio, you got to have an Ohio State Buckeye hat. I love these flex fit hats too. So, and the Las Vegas Club Rain. This is a cool place. I love this. This is another one of my favorite hats. Kind of see it there. So I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of my hat collection for me. I think at last count, well, if I remember my count, I'm close to 200 hats. From bands, I just see the band Journey. Their hat is over here. It's just out of reach, but I've got the band Chicago and Kiss and Def Leppard and Motley Crue and Bon Jovi. I have a Celine Dion hat somewhere. I collect hats. We go different places. We went to Valley Forge recently. I bought a hat. This one that I had to have this hat, and I've just been looking on the internet constantly for months and months now, and they finally brought the hat out just in time for Suicide Squad. So I know I kind of rambled in my video here, but for you seeing me wearing hats all the time, I thought this was appropriate to do this video, and you kind of understand why I end up wearing hats all the time. And some people are like, well, it's because you're bald and you don't want to see your head. No, I don't mind it. I just sweat like a Chinese whore. Sorry, no offense there to the Chinese whores out there. But it all started is to keep the sweat out of my eyes, and I had a full head of hair in high school. And playing drums, we'd be out in the marching band field and just sweating like crazy. So instead of wearing bandanas and things like that, I always wore a hat, wore it backwards. So the next time you see me probably on camera, I'll probably most definitely be wearing this hat, and it's going to be backwards. Just out of now almost 30 some odd years of just wearing a hat backwards because I'm a drummer has kind of stayed that way. So if Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers can be in his 50s wearing his hat backwards, I don't feel so bad being in my 40s still wearing my hat backwards. So today we've been taking a look at a lot of different hats, some of my favorite ones, and I have plenty more that I haven't shown yet. Maybe I'll do a hat video someday, a hat collection. But primarily, we've been looking at the new era 59FIFTY hat. Love these hats. The Batman vs. Superman Batman suit hat, or Batman armor hat, depending on where you get it. If you get it at HatLandcom, that they call it the armor hat, which you can kind of see right there, character armor hat. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.